Hari Om. Let us chant from verses 11 to 20 of chapter 7. Balam balhavatam kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatashabha ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha rajasastamasascha ye matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mahi tribhir gunamahai bhavaihi yebhis sarvabhidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prabhadyante maya metam tarantite namam dushkritino mudhaha prabhadyante naradhamaha Maya pahrita jnanaha asuram bhavamashritaha chaturbidha bhajante mam jana sukritino juna ato jignasuratthati jnani cha bharatashabha Tesham jnani nityayuktaha yeka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnani nodhyatam aham sacha mama priyaha udara sarvaye vaite jnani patmaiva me matam Astika sahi yuktatma mame vanuttamam gatim bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prabhadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha Kamaistairhritanyanaha prabhadhyantenya tam tam niyamamasthaya prakritya niyata swaya
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti. We'll continue with verse number 13 onwards. We'll start with 13.
Tribhir gunamayair bhavaihi yebhis sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam tribhir gunamayair bhavaihi yebhis sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam.
deluded by these natures, composed of the three gunas, qualities, all this world does not know me well, as above them and immutable. Deluded by these natures, composed of the three gunas, qualities, all this world does not know me well, as above them and immutable. So, we have seen in the previous verse that what is the internal cause. If everything is Brahman, if all are God, the question now is that we discussed last is, I am not dependent on them, they are dependent on me. They come out of me, they come out of me and they come onto me. I am dependent, they are dependent on me, I am not dependent on them. So up to verse number 11, he spoke about the external world and said everything is me. Now he is talking about the internal world, which we started in the previous. What is the internal world? The internal world is the thoughts. The external world is made up of objects and beings. The internal world is made up of thoughts. In fact, a human being is defined by the thoughts. A human being is defined by their thoughts, not by the body, not by anything else. That's why they are called. It's called the word manushya means human being, species. The word manushya itself means a particular species. And what is the uniqueness of that particular species? They have an internal world which is made up of thoughts. You want to define a person, you define a person by the thoughts of that person, not by the one way of defining a human being is by the physical characteristics. He is tall, he is short, he is fat, he is not fat. That is one way of describing a human person. In Vedanta, we don't describe the human person in terms of the physical personality. We define the human person, we define the human being in terms of the thoughts. So, human being equals the mind and mind equals the thoughts. And these thoughts is of three types. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Thought can have a sattvic flavor, thought can have a rajasic flavor, and thought can have a tamasic flavor. Depending on the flavor of the thought, whether it is sattvic, rajasic or tamasic, that person is defined accordingly. This is guna. Like all Sanskrit technical terms, in fact, most of the Sanskrit technical terms is very difficult to, they are very difficult to summarize in a single word. The word guna is like that. It is very difficult to summarize in one word. The approximate translation in common usage is quality. So even here, if we ask anybody what does guna means, all of you will say guna means quality, because it is the approximate common usage. What guna actually means is, it has two meanings. One meaning is a property, attribute. Another meaning is a thread, a rope, a shackle. It has two meanings. One meaning is property, attribute. Another meaning is it is a thread, it's a rope, shackle. So guna means property, Guna means shackle. So now what is guna? You have to combine both. Guna means that which binds you. That which binds you is guna. That which shackles you is guna. Binding to what? Samsara. Binding to what? Samsara. Samsara means attachment to the objects and beings. So, thoughts is that which connects you to the world, and by that connection, it binds you to the world. This is how you have to derive. So, thoughts is that which connects you to the world. What is the connection with, what is it that connects you under the world? It's not the hands. It's not the physical body. What connects you to the world is your thoughts. By connecting to the world, it creates a bondage. That bondage is called guna. So guna means what now? A rope that binds you to the world. What is the actual rope? What is the actual rope? The thought. And the thought is divided into three categories: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Are you able to follow what guna means? In the 14th chapter, is going to talk about, so beautifully, he will talk about all the aspects of the gunas in the 14th chapter. What he calls as Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, chapter 14, where he will be analyzing the three gunas in details. In that chapter, he will discuss what is the lakshana, definition of sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. How does it bind, bandhana? How sattvic guna, how sattva thought binds, how rajasic binds, how tamasic binds. And then he will call the third one is what is known as the lingam. Lingam means the clue, the guide to find out which is predominant in you. All that is going to come in the 14th chapter. If we start that, we have to jump to 14th chapter and then come back to this. We are not doing that, but I'm only giving you a brief idea of what guna is. Therefore, this verse you understand, because in this verse, what is he saying? Deluded by these gunas, everybody is bound. Deluded by these gunas, everybody is bound. Now I'll come to that. What is the delusion? How bondage happens? So what is guna? Guna is an attribute, a property, quality, which is the common accepted usage. But then the actual meaning of the word guna means a rope that binds. What is the rope that binds you to the world? The invisible rope. That's why it's called guna. If that which binds you to the world is visible, everybody knows it. Everybody will know what is the bondage. You can cut it. But here it is an invisible. That's why it's called a property. Property means that which has to be probed, discovered, understood. That's what property. It's not directly perceptible. Guna and Ravartaya, you should understand it. The word guna has to be understood like this first. So, what is it that binds you to the world, shackles you to the world? The thoughts, not the physical. If it is a physical bondage, if the tying is physical, you will know exactly. But then it is not physical. Because the bondage is not physical, the human being believes that we are free. Because you can move from one place to the other place, you believe that you are free. Vedanta says you are not free. That is not freedom. For there is the bondage. What is the bondage? The bondage through the medium of the bondage by the rope. What is the rope? Thought is the rope. And that thought has three flavors: Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. So in the 14th chapter is going to discuss this in detail. I'm just giving you what we will be discussing there, but then I'll give you the gist of it here also, so that it is easy to follow what he's saying. What is the definition of guna? Lakshana means definition. Second is bandha. How does it bind? How sattva guna binds? How rajoguna binds? How tamoguna binds? The second one. The third one is lingam. Lingam means, we saw when we did thesis on God also, we saw lingam means not the Shiva Linga. Linga means clue. The Sanskrit word lingam means indicator, a clue. Not the actual, it means the Shiva Linga also, but that symbol of Shiva Linga is the clue towards something. Similarly, the three, how do you know which guna of you is predominant? Some indicators are required. He gives those indicators. And then the fourth, he divides the gunas into 5 topics. The first is definition. The second is how does it bind? The third one is how do you know whether you are sattvic, rajasic or tamasic? And then the fourth one is gati. What will be the direction of your life? Gati. If you are a urdhvam gacchanti sattvastaha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, adho gacchanti tamasaha, he says. That's the gati, he says. Urdhvam gacchanti. What will be the gati of the sattvic person? Urdhvam. They will go higher and higher and higher. They will be evolving. Madhye tishtanti rajasaha. What is the gati of the rajasic people? They will go in circles. Or they'll be going in circles. What is the circle? From school to university, university to job, job to marriage, marriage to children, children to retirement, and then another cycle. Urdhvam gacchanti sattvastaha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha. Madhye tishtanti means they'll be going in circles. Adho gacchanti tamasaha. The tamasic people, adho, yeah, that's why we say that word should not be used at all, we say. Yeah. Adho gati, we say. Yeah. Adho gadinna goindava. Adho gadinna goinda. That's goinda means God. No, why you have said destruction? Adho gacchanti tamasaha. That is the direction of the three. Gati. Gati means, what is your? The last one he will talk about it in the 14th chapter is phala, benefits. Sorry, consequences, not benefits, consequences. What is the consequence if you are predominantly sattvic? What is the consequence if you are predominantly rajasic? What is the consequence if you are predominantly tamasic? It gives you a complete picture of the 3 gunas. Why that much of analysis is done about the 3 gunas? Because that which binds you to the world is the thought. That which binds you to the world is the thought, and the thought has these 3 flavors, textures. Therefore, you need to know it very clearly. Therefore, you need to know it clearly. What is sattva? Sattva is a equanimity. Sattva is an equanimity. Equanimity arises through knowledge and understanding. Where there is proper understanding, there is equanimity. Are you able to follow? Where there is right understanding, there is equanimity. Therefore, sattva means equanimity. Equanimity means knowledge and understanding. So, from this, you can loosely derive and say sattva is. What is sattva now? What is this? You should say, no? What is sattva now? Sattva means, all along we have been seeing, sattva means equanimity, poise, mature, all that, whatever that synonyms are. So equanimity arises out of knowledge and understanding. If equanimity is arising out of knowledge and understanding, and sattva means equanimity, for all practical purposes, what you should understand sattva as? Knowledge and understanding. Correct. That's how you have to derive. So wherever there is knowledge and understanding, there is an equanimity, and that equanimity that is born out of knowledge and understanding is called sattva guna. Able to follow? Now what is the definition of rajas? What is the definition of rajoguna that we have studied already? Give the definition that you know already. Confusion. Agitation. Agitation born out of confusion. Agitation born out of confusion. Confusion means what? Lack of knowledge. Confusion means where there is confusion, there will be agitation. Lack of knowledge. So rajas is confusion arising out of lack of knowledge. And what is tamoguna? Tamoguna means ignorance. No knowledge. So tamas is no knowledge, and the person who has no knowledge also is a kind of a person of no knowledge also will be in a kind of equanimous state only, isn't it? Yeah. See, as long as you don't have knowledge of anything, you will be balanced. And that balance is born out of ignorance. So tamoguna is a kind of equanimity which is born out of ignorance. Are you able to follow? This is how you have to define. This is how you have to understand the thought flavor. Knowledge based, confused based, ignorance based. Automatically the knowledge based will be attracted to that. Confusion will lead to action, and tamas will lead to an ignorant person will be attracted to. What will be the ignorant person attracted to? Ignorant person will be attracted to inaction. So tamas is equated to inaction, rajas is equated to action, sattva guna is equated to poise, equanimity, calmness. Are you able to understand the derivation? Since he is saying how these three gunas are binding, we are doing this elaboration. Because all that he is saying is what? In the verse, what is he saying in the verse? Deluded by these three gunas. Deluded by these three gunas, they do not, the world does not know me at all. It means the gunas causes delusion. First we need to know what is guna. That's why I'm deriving it. First we need to know what guna means, and then we need to know what is sattva, rajas and tamas means, and then we need to know how all the three is binding. How all the three is binding. That's why the state of self-realization, moksha, is not called sattva guna, is called guna atita. Guna atita means it is transcending the three gunas. State of self-realization is not a sattvic state. Sattvic state is a prerequisite to come to attain moksha. Sattvic state is a prerequisite, but sattvic state itself is not self-realization. That's why self-realization is explained as a state of guna atita. Guna atita means where you have transcended the three gunas. Because what is sattva? What is that? How does it bind? If you understand how it is bind, how sattva, rajas, tamas and binds, you understand how delusion happens. Are you able to follow till now? Carefully follow. Don't think ahead of me. And in these classes, people are always 10 steps ahead of me. Yeah. I go step by step by step, being all Vedantic scholars and professors. They think 10 steps ahead. Yeah. But I am very slow in my thinking. I start from the basic definitions and I try to develop the, so follow that temporarily, and then you can bring in all your past wisdom and connect it. So, what is, how delusion happens? The question. Because he's saying deluded by these natures. Sir, it is so obvious that Rajoguna and Tamoguna causes bondage, delusion is understandable. How come Sattva Guna also? How come Sattva Guna also causes delusion? If that is also going to cause bondage, then why? And then why develop Sattva Guna also? That is our problem. We should not be having all this problem by now, because we all have studied about the gunas so much in detail. We should not be having all these doubts, but still these doubts keep coming again and again and again. Therefore, Krishna patiently, tirelessly goes on explaining it. He gives explanation again and again and again. So till now, what we have seen, what does guna means? That which guna is the rope that binds you to the world. And then we went on to see the invisible rope. The invisible rope in the form of the thoughts. And if you want to liberate yourself, if you do not want this bondage, if you want to cross the samsara, you need to know what to cut. What to cut? The thoughts running towards the world, attaching itself to objects and beings has to be cut. And it runs in 3 flavors. Knowing the 3 flavors, you can make the necessary effort, and because treatment, the solution is going to come later. Solution is meaningful only when the diagnosis is proper. Now, what we are doing now, we are not giving the solution. We are only doing the diagnosis. But then the mind in a hurry wants diagnosis. Just give me the pill. I will swallow the pill and problem gets sorted out. No. If it can get sorted out like that, where is the problem? The difficulty is it will not get sorted out like that unless you know it for yourself. So you have to go through the diagnosis by yourself again and again. You cannot, in the other subjects, you need not do the diagnosis. All that you got to do was go to the doctor, trust his diagnosis, take the pill. You are all right. But here it doesn't work like that. You have to do the diagnosis and you have to follow the remedial methods. So what is the diagnosis here? He's saying deluded by these 3 gunas. All that he's saying is deluded by these 3 gunas. Nobody knows me. Now, I'm trying to explain the gunas and the delusion. That's the diagnosis. The second part of the verse is very clear. What is me? As above them and immutable. Ebhyaha param and avyayam. That is me. Ebhyaha param and avyayam. That is me. Now that too we will discuss later. That is not the theme of the verse. The theme of the verse here is how delusion happens by the gunas. What are the gunas? Sattva, rajas and tamas. And what is sattva? Knowledge and understanding. What is rajas? Confusion.
Due to lack of knowledge.
Confusion. What is tamas?
Ignorance. No knowledge.
Ignorance. A satisfaction, apparently, it appears to be satisfaction. It appears to be blissful. That's why they say ignorance is. What is tamoguna? Tamoguna is a kind. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் தெரிஞ்சாதான் சார் ப்ராப்ளம். தெரியாத வரைக்கும், as long as I don't want to know, people say I don't want to know all this, sir. Why? Because I can be calm and quiet as long as I don't know. The moment I know, what happens? Confusion starts, agitation starts. Instead of rightly understanding, the person goes to, instead of rightly understanding, the mind goes to a kind of not wanting to know. That is called, what is that? That is called tamoguna. And all these three binds. How all these three binds? All these three causes a dependency. All these three have its own. That's how it causes delusion. What is a sattvic person has a dependency? What is the dependency of the sattvic person? What is the dependency of the sattvic person? I can't tolerate noise, sir. Quietude is like, you take the person and put in a group of people, that person gets very agitated. So it means sattva guna is a dependency upon. Are you able to follow? Sattva guna has its own dependency and has its own consequence. What is the dependency? The dependency is, it is dependent. Dependency means what? Are you able to understand the word dependency? What does dependent means? Dependent. What is that English word dependent mean? Dependent mean a particular situation, a particular object, a particular person. That's what dependency means, correct? What does the word dependent mean? A particular situation is required, a particular person is required, a particular object, or a few situations, a few persons, a few objects are required. When it is there, I'm happy. When it is not there, I'm unhappy. That state is called dependency. Are you able to understand that? It's very easy. So when we say I am dependent, what does the word dependency means? Situations, particular situation, particular set of situations, particular set of objects, and particular set of persons. If these three are there, mind is at rest, at calm. If any one of it is not there, the mind goes through a state of agitation. Therefore, all mental agitations are born out of dependency. Are you able to follow till now? Sattva guna is dependent upon what? So that you are deluded. What is sattva guna dependent? See, a person inclined in knowledge and understanding, what will be the natural inclination of that person? Solitude. Correct. What will be the natural solitude? And wherever you go, something will be there to disturb. So sattva guna person also has a dependency, and because of that dependency, he will be bound, and that bondage causes agitations. So sattva guna, a sattvic person is also agitated. Second, because it is knowledge based, how much ever knowledge you get, the person feels they need more. அதுக்குதான் இந்த டெக்ஸ்ட் முடிச்சா சீக்கிரம் இந்த டெக்ஸ்ட் முடிங்க சார். Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter goods train mari, you are stuck. Quickly finish this text so that we can go to the next book, finish that book so that we can go to the next, we can go to the next, we can go to the next. So, dependency on solitude, quietude, dependency on more and more
Knowledge.
dependency on more and more information, more and more knowledge. All this causes agitations, bondage, delusion. So a sattvic guna also causes a kind of bondage. Are you able to understand that? I'm not elaborating in detail. I'm just saying how all this deludes you. If you go to the 14th chapter and the 16th, 17th chapter, and if we survive till then, yeah, assuming that we will survive till then, we will see it in detail. Beautiful chapters there. Each and everything he will take up one by one. I'm just summarizing it here so that we understand delusion. What is Rajoguna? Sattvic person is dependent on solitude. What is the dependency of the Rajoguna? Some noise. ஏதோ ஒரு noise இருக்கணும் சார் பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல. Yeah. Some noise has to be there in the background. That's all. Yeah. Quietude is
Disturbing.
intolerable. Just as noise cannot be tolerated by the sattvic person, sound is intolerable by, yeah, to an extent where the mosquito singing can be, yeah, yeah, mosquito also has its own alapana, isn't it? It also starts music, it also starts its own music. There are people who say there will be nobody in the house, but the TV will be on. I asked that lady, why the TV is on when you are not watching? No. Some noise in the background is, yeah, somebody is talking something. So dependency on
Noise.
Dependency on a group of people has to be there all the time.
Noisy.
A group of people has to be there. Obviously, when group of people will be there, what will follow? When there is a group of people, what will follow?
Chapters.
Bhagavad Gita verses will follow. When group of people will be there, what will follow? Naturally, what will follow? Gossips. All of that. We don't call it as gossips, we call it as politics, isn't it? We are just discussing it in general, sir. No general discussion. Yeah. Kottu barota dan. Somebody is always made a mincemeat, isn't it? Somebody is always made into a mincemeat. And that gives satisfaction. Because of the confusion, action, karmendriyas has to be used all the time. In the case of a sattva guna, jnanendriyas will be used all the time. In the case of the rajoguna, karmendriyas will be used all the time. Yeah. Summa kai katti nukarna kuda, even in a classroom where you are supposed to, only your jnanendriyas are supposed to function in this classroom. Yeah. Not karmendriyas. But head will be going, leg will be shaking. Yeah, karmendriyas will. And if it gets too boring at some point of time, what will happen? Karmendriyas, jnanendriyas will shut off. Yeah. When karmendriyas and jnanendriyas are shut off, Balkrishna, you will be in yoga nidra. Yeah. That is tamoguna. Are you able to follow now? Are you able to follow how tamoguna functions? Jnanendriyas are active in sattvic. Karmendriyas are active in rajasic. When both shuts down, that is tamoguna. Therefore, tamas is an inaction. Therefore, tamas is defined as inaction. So are you able to follow? All these three put together binds. What is the bondage? It creates a dependency. A sattvic person also has a dependency. The rajasic person also has a dependency. The tamasic person also has a dependency. What is the dependency of the tamasic person? Give him an action to do, that person will get very agitated. Yeah. That's why they are called couch potato, isn't it? Always love to be in a, see, there are two positions, no? Vertical and horizontal. There are two positions, vertical and horizontal. Vertical na என்னது?
Standing.
Vertical na இப்படியா?
Um,
Yeah, there are two positions. Vertical, horizontal. Yeah. So horizontal to vertical will be agitating to a tamasic person. Always, as much as possible, be in the horizontal. One, not realizing that we were in that position. Have you ever noticed most of the species are in? Have you observed? Most of the species are in this position. With so much of effort, we became right, and then we want to go back. That is called tamoguna. So what is dependency of tamoguna? Horizontal lerந்து vertical வாங்கன்னா that fellow will get very agitated. Do any kind of activity will be agitating, frustrating. Deluded by these natures, Arjuna, this is how the three gunas delude you. This is to say how all the three gunas delude you. Deluded by these three natures, Arjuna, this entire world does not know me. This entire world does not know me at all. Know me well. Know me well na don't know me. They don't know me at all. என்ன பத்தி சரியா புரிஞ்சுக்கல சார்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Is half understanding possible? Either you understand or you don't understand. Correct? என்ன பத்தி அவரு know me, the world does not know me well means the world does not know me at all. And who am I? Who am I? As above them and immutable. Avyayam. The Sanskrit word is mutable. Vyayam. Vyayam ka a prefix comes, it becomes avyayam. What is Vyayam means? Vyayam means the 5 metaphorical changes is called Vyayam. Muting, changing. Mute na not clear. Mic is muted கிடையாது. Mutation. And the word anga. Mutation. Immutable means do not go through that changes. So immutable means changeless. So Vyayam means that which constantly changes. What is that which constantly changes? The 5 metaphorical changes. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death. These are the 5 Vyayam. Avyayam means I do not go through these mutations. So the world does not know me as the immutable and above them. Above them. Above them means above the infinite permutations and combinations. Above the infinite permutations and combinations which the world is made up of, I am above them. The 3 gunas in different permutations and combinations is the manifold beings in this world. The manifold beings of the world is nothing but the permutations and combination of these 3 gunas. How can the 3 guna mix match and give infinite variations? That's what reality is. That's what it is. And this binds. How does it bind? They go and enmesh themselves with the Vyayam. Instead of witnessing it and getting detached from it, you go and bind yourself with that. And when you bind yourself with that, what is the consequence of bondage? The consequence of bondage is suffering. Because whatever happens to that happens to you because of your bondage. Because of your bondage, whatever happens to the objects and beings happens to you. And what is the nature of objects and beings? Vyayam. What is the nature of it? Vyayam. Therefore, Vedanta, whenever they talk about Brahman, they keep using this word avyayam. Avyayam. A is the prefix. We have seen, no? Vidya, avidya. That A means the prefix. Brahman is missed. Brahman is missed means you miss the purpose, you miss the goal, you miss the purpose, you miss the very essence of life itself. Why? Because you are deluded in this, you are deluded by this. A sattvic person finds a pride in his sattvic attainment. A rajasic person finds a pride in the rajasic attainment. The tamasic person finds a pride in tamas. Return. No? சும்மாவே உட்கார்ந்து பாருங்க சார், கஷ்டம் அப்பதான் தெரியும். SRL Shankar, Aditya channel பார்த்தா அப்படிதான் ஆகும். Isn't it? That fellow says, no. How, stay, just be inactive and see how difficult it is. Now, each and every attainment of guna itself brings a pride. And that's the downfall. And that is the downfall. Therefore, deluded by these three natures, tribihi gunamayaihi bhavaihi. By deluded by these three natures, all this world does not know me well as above them and immutable. I am that immutable. Again and again and again, throughout these 6 chapters, he is going to talk about the changing and the changeless. Every verse or every few verses, he will come back to that point of the changing and the changeless. Vyayam is the changing, avyayam is the changeless. So this entire discussion from 7 to 12 will be these two, changing and the changeless. And if you are focusing on the change, the fluctuations of the change will bring about an internal fluctuations. The external fluctuation will cause the internal disturbance. The external fluctuations will cause the internal disturbances. And what are the internal disturbances? The 2 internal disturbances, pleasant, unpleasant, happy, sorrow. That's all. The 2 internal disturbances are only happy and sorrow. In Bhajagovindam, we saw that, no? Dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. Avoiding dukkha and wanting sukha. Avoiding pain and wanting happiness. Avoiding sorrow and wanting happiness. On these external fluctuations, and if you are dependent on these external fluctuations, what happens? You will also go through these fluctuations. What are the internal fluctuations? The internal fluctuations are one of sukha and dukkha. So the external fluctuations will make you go through the internal fluctuations only when you are bound. Only when you are bound, isn't it? When you are not bound, it will not make any difference. Puneet Rajkumar died. What difference does it make? Doesn't make any difference. Rajinikanth admitted in Kaveri Hospital. Actually, I wanted to go to Kaveri Hospital. Yeah. The தலைவர் is there, no? Bond. Are you able to follow? Somebody is sick. So what you are attached to, that will go through the fluctuations, and that fluctuations, the external fluctuations, will make you go through the internal fluctuations. Now, what is delusion here? Delusion is trying to rearrange the external so that you can avoid the internal fluctuations. That is delusion. Again, Balakrishna, are you able to follow? What is delusion here? Delusion is trying to rearrange the external so that you can be free of these internal fluctuations. Avyayam and Vyayam. What is the nature of the external? What is the nature of the external? Vyayam. Vyayam means that which constantly changing. That which constantly changing. Can you stop that? Can you prevent that? No. The world is ever changing. The person you met yesterday is not the person that you are meeting today. It's not the person that you are going to meet next week. Ever changing. Okay. Internally also, you are also what you are, what you liked when you are a teenage is not what you like now. Is not what you like when you reach 50. It's not what you will like when you reach there. When you reach 70 and 80. There. When you reach 70 and 80, what do you want? What is it that you don't bother at all now? And what is the only thing that you want when you turn 80 and 90? At 80 and 90, what is the only thing that you want in life?
Peaceful death.
Huh? Just to go to the bathroom by myself and come back. How is that, sir? Is that a big thing, or are you able to follow? Now you are doing it. No, you don't even. I don't think anybody is in that position. If somebody is in that position, they will not be sitting in this classroom. Yeah. So what will you want at that point of time? All that you will want is what? I just want to go to the washroom by myself and come back. Just want to be independent. What is independent? You are changing. Are you able to follow? The world is changing, and you are changing in this constant flux of change. Hoping for permanency is delusion. Hoping that something will be permanent, trying to keep something permanent is the delusion. Why? Because you have understood. What is understanding? It is changing outside and it is changing inside. This is the analysis you have to do. Huh? This analysis you have to do. Do this analysis. What would you desperately want at 80 and 90? What is it that you are desperately wanting now? What is it that you will want then? And then some disease will come. All that you will want is to die, isn't it? All that you want is to just want to die, sir. Ready to do anything to live now? See, because what is success? What is success now? Living one more day, isn't it? Without any disease, getting what you want is a big success, isn't it? I came back safely home, isn't it? You drive in this Indian traffic, you have done good karma, because it is your karma that is protecting you and bringing you back home, isn't it? Nothing is bringing, it is your own. To know your karmic levels, you should drive in. You should drive, you will know your karmic, and that to drive a car, you will know, isn't it? Because nobody treats it as, everybody will want to make a mark in that car, no? And every mark that is made on the car is a dent in your What is delusion? What is the delusion? The delusion is in that ever-changing, something can be kept permanent. Are you okay till now? Krishna is saying, you are such a fool, Arjuna, because I am the changeless standing in front of you. Instead of holding on to me, why are you trying to make that changeless? Because by nature that change, by nature I am changeless. So what is, I am standing in front of you, Arjuna. So what you should do, if you are wise, if you have 1 ounce of wisdom, what you would have done? You would have held on to me. But then the mind says, anyway, you are there, no, we'll see you later, Krishna. Anyway, you are not going anywhere, no, that we'll see later. But bank balance is not increasing. First, let me worry about the bank balance. And then I have to make sure that you have to factor in inflation. Bank balance is not enough. And you factor inflation, if you factor in, what will happen? Enough will never be correct. And that is economics. That is financial planning. What is factor in inflation? And if you factor in inflation, 100 crores also will not be enough. 10,000 crores also will not be sufficient. Therefore, what is it that you do? What is it that you do? There is the changeless right in you. You don't have to look outside for the changeless. There is the changeless right in you. Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. Why are you looking at outside? Why are you searching for it outside? Why are you running around the world looking for it? It is in you. That is right. And then they go to the next level. It is not in you, Langadayadu. You are that. Are you able to see how it goes? It is. There is this changeless. And where is this changeless? Right in you, there is this changeless. And then they say, no, it is not in you, as though there are other parts in you. Yeah, as though there are 100 parts in you. Of the 100 parts in you, Brahman is one. No, it is not that also. You are that. Not realizing this is samsara. Not realizing this is samsara. That which is meaningless appears meaningful. That's samsara. Sara means essence. Yeah. Juice essence sir, we say no. Sara means essence. That which has no essence at all, you believe it has some essence. Yeah, the asara. Asara, you think it has samsara. Those essence you fall for it. How do you fall for it? By you connecting your thoughts to the world. And these thoughts have flavors. What are the flavors? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Know me to be above them. The previous verse, what did he say in the previous verse? In the previous verse, he said about the gunas.
I am not in.
They are in me, I am not in them. I am not dependent on them, they are dependent on me. Now what is he saying? I am above them. If he goes on contradicting like this, what do you understand? That's where you have to go through it again and again and again. First, when you are at the infantry level, when you are at infancy, something will be taught. When you grow in understanding, something will be taught. When you come to the peak, it will be something else. So last verse he said, I am not in them, they are in me. I am not dependent on them. They are dependent on me. Now what is he saying? I am above them. And how am I above them? Avyayam, immutable. And wonderful is this word, immutable. I am above them, immutable. Because the three mutations at the thought level mutations are sattva, rajas, and tamas. What is the mutations at the worldly level mutations? The worldly level mutation is the five metaphoric changes: birth, growth, disease, decay, death. The five metaphoric mutations at the level of the external. The mutations at the level of the internal is the three. So there is an internal change, there is an external change. So therefore, இது எல்லாமே changes. All these are changes. And as long as your attention is on changes, you will go through the internal fluctuations. As long as you are dependent, as long as you are bound to that, you will go through the fluctuations. What are the fluctuations? Sukha and dukkha. Sukha and dukkha. This is verse number 13. We'll move on to verse number 14. Verse number 14, Padinga.
एषा गुणमयी माया दुरत्या मामेव ये प्रबध्यते मामे तां तरन्ति ते दैवी एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रबध्यन्ते माया मे तां तरन्ति ते.
Verily, this divine illusion of mind made of gunas, qualities, is difficult to cross over. Those who seek me alone cross over this illusion. Verily, this divine illusion of mind made of gunas, qualities, is difficult to cross over. Those who seek me alone cross over this delusion. What is the diagnosis? Delusion. Delusion is the diagnosis. What is the effect of it? Maya. What is the solution? Those who seek me alone cross over this illusion. So diagnosis is done, solution is given. The beauty of him is, the beauty of Krishna, he will go through the diagnosis, immediately he will give the solution also. And what is the solution that he has given now? Those who seek me alone cross over this illusion. That is the solution. What is the solution? Seeking me is the solution to cross over the delusion. And what is this delusion? Beautiful word he uses. Maya. And this word Maya, you can go any number of times, you can go on and on and on discussing about it. Still it will very difficult to comprehend. As the Maya, isn't it? It is the Maya of Maya. Yeah. How much ever you study about it, it still eludes the grasp. Beautiful is this. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. It's not ordinary illusion. It is a divine illusion. Yeah. Illusion that has, look at the word he uses. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. Daivi means divine. What is that adjective divine to that illusion? In fact, he should be giving Asuri Hesha Gunamayi, he should say, isn't it? Then that makes sense. But he's calling it as Daivi Hesha Gunamayi. Now we will see that also. Don't worry. Each and every we will try to cover as much What is Daivi means? Divine. Why it is divine? Why it is divine? Should know the answer by now. In the context of seeing from verses 4 to the context of verses 4 to this, you should be able to give the answer. Why it is called Daivi?
Born of me.
Born of me. Since it has come out of me, exactly correct. Exactly. Since it is born of me, it is also
Me.
it's also me. It's divine. For anything that comes out of me is also
Me.
me only. Therefore, don't complain about it. Don't worry about it. Don't bother about it. He's giving it a beautiful way of, because philosophy is always a pessimistic analysis, or it is misunderstood like that. Philosophy is a criticism or a kind of analysis that leads to pessimism, etc. Here he's shifting. He's saying Daivi Gunamayi. So first we have understood what the word Daivi means. Why he call it as divine? Because it comes out of
Me.
me. How can it come out of me? Ada Maya. That's why he immediately, how can it come out of me? How can snake ever come out of rope? How can snake ever come out of rope? Is it possible at all for a snake to come out of rope? Is it possible at all for a snake to come out of rope? Is it possible at all for the waker to carry the wealth from the dream state to the waking state? Or is it possible for the dreamer to carry the wealth from the waking state onto the dream state? I am the waker, I am the dreamer, then sir, I should be able to effortlessly switch this side and that side. No. Is it possible? That is Maya. That is Maya. Divine Maya. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Duratyaya means difficult to cross over. Difficult to cross over. That is why in the Sankalpa, Duratyaya, this word Duratyaya is Durita, is what in all the Sankalpa they use. Momopata Samasta Durita Kshayadvara. Durita means that which is difficult to cross over should happen. That is the Sankalpa. That is the Sankalpa. Some of the people do the Sankalpa and they don't know what they are doing. That's a different. Yeah, that's a different story. It is like saluting the national flag, not knowing how the national flag should be placed. I don't know if you have observed. Every Independence Day, there will be 2-3 pictures where some minister, some MLA will be hoisting the flag upside down. Have you ever noticed it? Even this time also it happened. And that fellow is the minister. Duratyaya means difficult to cross over. And what is the sankalpa we do in the prayer? Mama upata samasta durita. Mamopata samasta durita kshayadvara. Means all should happen in that which is difficult to cross over should be made possible by this puja. That which is difficult to cross over should be made possible by this. Then that puja has it. That is how you have. That's how he says, those who seek me alone cross over this illusion. But then we don't do that. What do? We don't seek his cooperation. We don't seek his blessing to cross over samsara. We seek, we want God to bless us for what? To get more entangled in samsara. For which God says, you are already a PhD in that, you don't need my help at all for that. Yeah, you don't need my help at all for that. For you know how to do it by yourself. You need my help only to lift you up, not to drown you more. You don't go to God and ask, drown me more, isn't it? That's what we are doing. None of our prayers are working. Why none of our prayers are working? It's not the prayers don't work. We are asking for, in the name of prayer, we are asking to God, drown me more, drown me more, drown me more in the samsara. Yeah, drown me more. We don't say drown me more. What do we say? What is wrong in praying for the welfare of the family, sir? What is wrong in praying for the welfare of health? What is wrong in praying for the welfare of the family? What is wrong in praying for the... Okay, sir. What is wrong in praying for the welfare of the world? All are mama maya duratyaya. All this comes out of my... All these comes out of maya, that which is difficult to cross over. So first thing that is agreeing is what? It is difficult to cross over. That is accepted. Are you able to understand what he is saying? It is difficult to cross over. It's not easy. It's not easy means don't think that you hear a few weekly discourses and memorized a few things makes you to help cross samsara. I would have crossed long back, no? I mean me, Subramaniam. Sometimes I, Krishna and Radhila is in the context, it is me. Mamamaya Dhuratyaya. It is difficult to cross over. So Durita means that which is difficult to cross over should be made possible. That which is difficult to cross over should be made possible. And how it will be possible? Only if you seek me. Only if you seek me. Seeking means wanting. Seeking means wanting. And then there are gradations of wanting, isn't it? Gradations of wanting means desperation. Correct. How desperate you are. That's all. Gradations of wanting. First is wanting. Another is gradations of wanting. So it's okay. It's okay, sir. Good, little bit. Some things has to come, isn't it? You want a particular message from a particular person, isn't it? I love you. Correct? That particular message from that particular person. Then there is what? Satisfaction. Huh? Able to follow? You do not seek me, but you seek everything else. So, seeking implies wanting, and wanting implies gradations of wanting. And how you should seek me? You don't seek me like morning newspaper. Yeah, morning newspaper. Morning newspaper is not required at all, isn't it? Because it's there in the
Google News.
Yeah, Google News, mobile all time. Now you have to make an effort to run away from news, isn't it? Previously, if you have to make an effort to go to news, now you have to make an effort to run away from news. I used to go to my grandfather's place for a holiday. The most frustrating thing is you get newspaper by 10 o'clock there. Yeah, the most frustrating thing is you'll get newspaper by 10 o'clock. Why? By the time the printing has to happen, the transportation has to happen, then it has to come. By the time it reaches the village where I'll be sitting, it will be 10 o'clock. From 5 o'clock in the morning, I am restless, not knowing what has happened to the world. No. Now, desperation. Seek me, those who seek me alone. Meaning, how desperate you are in this seeking. How deep is your, how much are you longing for me? How much do you want me? That's what is meant by those who seek me. This seeking, what is the technical word for seeking? The word Maya, I am not taking up. I am carefully avoiding the word Maya so that we'll, the next week, Guna too much for today. So Maya, I am going to take only for next week. What is the technical word for seeking? The technical word for seeking is called mumukshatva. Those who seek me alone cross over this illusion. Meaning, those who have mumukshatva alone will cross over this illusion. So what is important here? Seeking here, very loosely, most of the people translate it as surrender. What is surrender? Mukshatva is surrender. Everyone follow? So those who have mukshatva alone cross over this illusion, which is difficult to cross over. That which is difficult to cross over, by the power of your mukshatva, you will be able to cross over. And why it is so difficult? Because it is Maya. What is the difficulty? Difficulty is, it is Maya. How can Maya be difficult? Because of ignorance, it is difficult. If you rightly understand this, it is not difficult at all. The technical word for Maya is Mithya. Maya and Mithya are synonyms. The technical word is Mithya. And what is Mithya? Maya. Maya means with certainty you cannot say anything about it. That is Maya. What is the definition of Maya? Understand it like that. Which you cannot make, you cannot say anything about it with certainty. That is called Maya. Is the world there? You can't say it with certainty because at sometimes it is not there. Is the world not there? Again, you can't say that because you knock your head against the wall now. Yeah, you go and hit yourself against the wall now. You know it is. Therefore, this world is Maya. Why? Because with certainty you cannot say anything about it. Ulta thinking is people say, sir, God da sir Maya. Because sometimes God seems to be there, sometimes God, world is not Maya, world is Pratyaksha, world is very much there, world is very clear. The definition of Maya, ninga mathi sollittel avladhan, isn't it? Definition of Maya applies to whom? God. Adhan tamas. Yeah. Because sometimes God seems to be there, sometimes God doesn't seem to be there. Yeah. And you get a doubt when your enemy is flourishing and you are suffering. You have a doubt whether God is there or not. You are flourishing and your enemy is suffering. Very clear. God is there. Correct? Krishna says, no. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Even this Maya is divine. Why? Because it comes out of me. And what is the nature of Maya? Maya doesn't mean that which is not there. That is not Maya. Please understand that. Maya doesn't mean that which is not there. Maya means with certainty you cannot say whether it is there or not. Again I repeat, Maya or Mithya doesn't mean it is not there. Maya or Mithya means with certainty you cannot say whether it is there or not. And this is difficult to cross over. Duratyaya. Those who have mukshatva, he doesn't use the word mumukshatva because in chapter 7 to 12, he will not use the word mumukshatva. He will use the word those who seek me, those who surrender to me. That is the word he will be using from now on. And don't get carried away by the words and misunderstand the concepts. That's why I'm connecting it to the concept so that you understand it rightly. So whenever he says from chapter 7 to chapter 12, Ganesh, he will not use the word mumukshatva. He will use the word those who surrender to me, those who seek me. Now seeking me, surrendering means mumukshatva. And those who have mukshatva alone cross over this illusion. And what is illusion? A few words about illusion we will take up in the next class. Few words about illusion we will take up in the next class. But for today, but for today, we understand what is Maya. Maya means with certainty, you cannot say anything about it. You cannot say whether it is there or not. Do you love me or not? What is the answer? Maya. Because we don't know. With certainty, we cannot say you love. Ganesh, Puriyarda. With certainty, you cannot say I love you. With certainty, you cannot say I don't love you also. Correct? Are you wealthy or not? Maya. Are you knowledgeable or not? Degree certificate la irukudhu, but there is no knowledge. Therefore, so what is Maya? With certainty, you cannot say anything about it. That is why the knowledgeable person will never make any assertive statements about anything. A person of true knowledge will never make assertive statements about anything in relation to the world. All the assertive statements will be only to Brahman, to the reality. Anything about the world, the wise person always makes statements in terms of Maya types only. What is Maya types? That's somewhere else we said. Yes or no. Yes and no. Correct solunga. Yes or no. Correct. Yes or Krishna Arjuna is asking Tadekam Vadanischitya. Arjuna is saying, say it certainly. Either this, yes or no. Krishna is saying, Vedanta is saying, how can you answer yes or no? How can you answer that? Because the nature of the world is such that you can never say yes or no. With Brahman, you can say with certainty. With Brahman, certainty is in relation to Brahman. In relation to the world, everything in relation to the world, it is always, you can never say with certainty. Able to follow? Are you beautiful or ugly? Correct. You cannot say that. Are you knowledgeable or ignorant? You cannot say that with certainty. You cannot say that with certainty. Do you love me or not? Love now, do whatever you ask me to do, you do, then only it is love. No, you do exactly the opposite of what I want and then call it as love. How does that work? Everywhere it is Maya. Why? Life is Maya. Are you awake or asleep?
Awake.
Are you awake or asleep? Next week answer. Huh? Are you awake or asleep? What is the answer for that? Awake. Huh? Our certification, self-certification. Because you know whether you have woken up or not. Correct. For reality, there cannot be an external. There is nothing that is external. It is always an internal. Maya takes you to that understanding. So we will discuss what is this divine, what is not divine illusion, what is illusion, the word Maya and Mithya briefly in the next session. In the Vedanta treatise class, we are going to study it in detail. Maya, in the chapter Maya illusions, we are going to read it in extensively, we are going to cover it. But in the next session, we will cover it in a very, not in a general form, we'll try to concise it in a way that what you understand. But the definition will not change. What is the definition of Maya? What is the definition of Mithya? With certainty you cannot say. இல்லையா? இருக்கா இல்லையா? அதான் கேள்வி கேட்கறாங்க. World இருக்கா இல்லையா? Certainty you cannot say. God இருக்கிறாரா இல்லையா? Now you cannot say with certainty. But those who have reached, they say that is the only certainty. That's the only thing that exists. Consciousness. And that God, what is the nature of that God? Consciousness. Prajnanam Brahma. With this, we conclude for today. And then we continue. Any
Mala has got a question. Mala has got a few questions, and Chandralekha ma'am has got one question. It's posted.
Okay. Mala. Alright, I'm just trying to go over it. Correct. Mala. If sattva is equanimity, why does it bind us to the world? That is explained already. Where does the raga and dvesha relate to sattvic, rajasic and tamasic? Raga means attraction, dvesha means aversion. Correct? Raga means attraction, dvesha means aversion. These attractions and aversions has these three flavors. What are you attracted to? What are you having an aversion to? Are you able to follow? Mala. See, raga means attraction. Dvesha means aversion. So what are you attracted to? What do you have aversion to? As this sattvic, rajasic and tamasic flavor. That's why in the 17th chapter, even the food, what type of food that you are attracted to tells you whether you are sattvic, rajasic or tamasic is going to say it. It's not that food you eat, you are going to become sattvic. And people misunderstand. அது சாப்பிட்டா I don't understand இருக்கிறாங்க. அப்படி கிடையாது. சாப்பிட்டாலும் ஒன்றும் ஆகாது. Eating that nothing will change. So raga and dvesha means attraction and aversion. So what are you attracted to? Towards what you have an aversion. Are you able to follow, Mala? That's how both are interconnected. So if you are attracted to a particular type of music, if you are attracted to a particular type of this, if you are attracted to a particular type, it is called sattvic. What you worship also, he defines it as sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Even the deities that you worship, what kind of deity you are attracted to, what kind of deity you have an aversion to, that also is defined as sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Therefore, raga, dvesha and sattvic, sattva and the three gunas are so intricately, they are connected. And are you able to observe the connection? Puriyada, Mala?
Puriyada. So that's the reason it's also binding.
Yes, all are binding. Ultimately, all are binding. The difference is what is the
Binding material.
What is the binding material? And what will help you? What if you promote? What if you develop? You will get out of it. That is also important.
And the equanimity is not sattvic. How do you say it's equanimous?
Equanimity means, that's why I elaborated. I'll define it again. An equanimity born out of right. An equanimity that is born out of right understanding. How does equanimity come? When will equanimity come?
When I don't have raga dvesha only, I will say equanimous. So, no. But raga dvesha irukku.
No, equanimity doesn't come by subsiding raga dvesha. Equanimity comes by proper understanding. how can you eliminate raga dvesha in order to get equanimity? Okay, from your angle also, if we come, if you eliminate raga dvesha, you will be equanimous. If you eliminate raga dvesha, you will not be equanimous. If you eliminate raga dvesha, you will transcend it. One. Second is, you are only in the initial stages, you will be increasing the raga dvesha, the subtlety of the raga dvesha will be changing, not the raga dvesha per se. When you are attracted to tamoguna, we will say get attracted to sattva guna. So there is an attraction still happening. So transcending raga dvesha is transcending the three gunas. Are you able to follow?
Okay. Okay.
Are you able to follow now?
Yeah.
Yes, there is a, that's why you are attracted to the sattvic elements. You are attracted to that which is sattvic by nature. Are you able to follow? That is a binding there. That's why self-realization is discussed as state of guna atita, no. Self-realization is not said as a highly sattvic state. It is said as guna atita. It means sattva guna also binds. And I gave you briefly, how does it bind? Irritation. Bondage means what? Adillana irukka mudiyadundradhu bondage. Correct? Tamasic person will be very comfortable in dirt. Sattvic person, OCD vandru. Bondage. Because little bit of dirt kuda mudiyadu. Correct? And the nature of life is what? You can go on cleaning. How much ever you clean, you will get dirty again. Therefore, you reasonably clean. Correct? Are you able to follow what I am saying? How everything binds you. Is it okay, Malla?
Yeah.
Chandralekha. What is the purpose of Maya?
Mala has got one more question, sir.
Mala has one more. What is that?
Yes. How to place the feeling of dharma staying in changeless among the changing world?
How to place the feeling of dharma staying changeless amongst the changing world? The ultimate dharma, which is your own nature, doesn't change. Dharma is understood in two ways. Dharma as in the laws, sanatana, is different. Dharma as in consciousness, Brahman, is different. Don't mix up all this. Understand dharma separately first. Dharma means, I have said, dharma means law. Law means according to time. Law means that which is according to time, place, and situation. And then there are some universal laws. And the universal laws are also not absolutely universal, because there is no such thing called universal at all. Water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. Where? In the moon, huh? Does it boil in 100 degrees Celsius in the moon? Objects are attracted at 32 feet per second. In Mars, what will happen? So, what is universal? Are you able to follow? Under certain standard conditions, it works. Wherever earth type of conditions prevail, water will boil at 100 degrees. Wherever earth type of situation prevails, objects will be attracted to 32 feet per second. This is called sanatana. Are you able to follow? Here we are talking about Brahman, which is beyond everything. Here we are talking about Brahman, which is beyond that. Therefore, don't connect these two. If you go on connecting all the words that you know, you will only end up in confusion. Understand them separate. That is why in one class we will attend to only one. We will not mix it up. Are you able to follow? Still I answered your question. Dharma means a law. And laws are of two types. One is that which is according to the changing time, place, and situation. And then there is another law which takes certain standard conditions. This vehicle gives 70 kilometers per liter. When you drive up the hill, under standard testing conditions. And what are the standard testing conditions? No traffic, no resistance, no braking. Adallam possible. Then comes another dharma. What is another dharma? Under braking, under resistance. Adallam. That is also dharma. You can't go to that fellow and ask, bike vikumbodu, car vikumbodu, you said 70 kilometers a liter, 80 kilometers a liter. When I'm driving, it's not even giving 20. You cheated me. You can't go and tell that fellow. Correct? You can say that, but that fellow will only laugh at you. Why? Because brochure oranga padikaleya, he will say. Are you able to follow? So don't connect it like that. It will be very confusing. Is it okay, Mala? Did I answer Mala Ganesh?
Yes, sir, you answered.
Okay. What is Chandralekha? What is the purpose of Maya? Why Maya? One thing that you cannot ask is this purpose. What is the purpose of existence? In the true sense, there is no. In the true sense, you cannot answer this question. Because in the utilitarian mind always finds a purpose for everything. This purpose is a unique nature of the utilitarian attitude of human mind. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
This asking for purpose is very unique of the utilitarian attitude, utility seeking attitude of the human mind. That's why Ramatirtha says, you go and ask the flower, why are you giving fragrance? What is the purpose of you giving fragrance? Rose will say,
My nature.
I don't understand your question at all. What does it mean that giving, why am I giving purpose means, why are you giving fragrance means what? Are you able to follow? So asking for purpose is a very unique human utilitarian attitude. And it is very important and it is very useful, because only if you ask this question, certain depths of life can be understood. But then when we come to the depth of the understanding, we drop the word purpose. We drop the word because we use it to develop an understanding, and having developed an understanding, we drop it. What do we drop now? At the height. What is the height of discussion here? Maya we are discussing. In the context of discussion of Maya, we will not use the word
Purpose.
at all, because the word purpose has no purpose here. Why? Because it is Maya. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
It is Maya. So, okay, ma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Venkatachalam.
Yes, sir.
Do gunas follow cause and effect relationship? Yes. Do gunas follow cause and effect relationship? What is the answer?
You said yes.
Yes, will come out. Full stop. What is the answer? Do cause and effect relationship? Yes. At one level, there is a cause and effect relationship. Ignorance is the cause, guna becomes the effect at one level. At another level, guna is the manifestation. The thoughts, when the thought starts manifesting, it has these three flavors. From the angle of flavor, from the angle of quality, flavor, attribute, there is no cause and effect. So in some context, it is cause and effect. In some context, you cannot bring in cause and effect. In the context of 13th, what are the verses that we are doing now?
14.
12, 13, 14. 12, 13, 14, 15. Because 12 to 15 is going to talk about, 12 to 15 is about the three gunas. in the context of these 12 to 15, where he's talking about Maya and everything, he himself answered. It came out of me. Cause and effect is established. Correct?
Yeah, with
Correct, follow?
Prakriti, isn't it?
It came out of me.
With
I am the cause, it is the effect. And then he says, Prakriti is the cause and that is the effect. And now he is saying, all are Maya.
Okay.
Everyone follow? First he is saying, I am the cause, it is the effect. And then he said, Prakriti is the cause, it is the effect. Now he is saying, it is all Maya. Rope is the cause, snake is the effect. Correct, at one level. Rope is the cause and snake is the effect is correct. From another angle, you cannot bring in cause and effect relationship. Because out of rope, snake can never come. Then what is that? It is Maya. So we keep talking at both the levels. Is it okay, Venkatachalam?
Yeah, that's what my confusion, because we talked about Prakriti as the first manifestation.
Correct.
And gunas are accompany Prakriti.
Yes. Subsequent manifestations.
Subsequent, not in the first
Not in the first.
Not with the Prakriti, but subsequent manifestation of Prakriti. Okay.
So it goes in a sequence. Now he takes us from the known to the unknown. What we know from here, he takes us to the ultimate. Is it okay?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All over, Ganesh?
Yes, sir, all over, sir.
Yeah. We'll continue next week with a few things on Maya, and then we'll continue the verses.